Kerema MP Passes On. Public service to continue under strict protocols. And foreign spectators banned for Tokyo Games.
This is National MTV News with Dennis Orere.
Good evening, this is Sunday's news. Pandemic controller David Manning has confirmed the death of Kerema MP Richard Mendani. Speaking yesterday, Manning says the MP was rushed to PIH following underlying health conditions that deteriorated at a private health facility. Manning says COVID-19 is a threat to every citizen and measures put in place must be followed.
Speaking yesterday at the National Control Centre, the pandemic controller formally confirmed and announced the death of the Member of Parliament. Manning says this shows the threat COVID-19 poses on every citizen of the country. The controller says the Kerema MP succumbed to his death following his health condition.
Sadly, his passing comes 1 year to the day since the first COVID-19 infection was detected in our country. Mr. Mendani, from what I've been briefed, presented to the PIH Emergency Department on the 24th of February with a complaint of fever, cough, breathlessness, and headache since the 19th of February. He was initially diagnosed with pneumonia at Hope Clinic, but as his condition wasn't improving, was referred to PIH for further evaluation and management.
MP Mendani was elected in the 2017 national elections. He has served both sides of the House. He was rushed to PIH with other health issues and following checkups was tested positive for COVID-19. Health authorities explained their findings.
He died at the COVID isolation center in PIH ICU. He was on ventilator. He had other existing medical conditions, but COVID-19 was the diagnosis that was made when he came in, and he was actually treated in another clinic in the city and not improving, and was treated for pneumonia.
Pandemic controller David Manning says while stats and death toll climb, he urged citizens to adhere to preventive measures announced recently. He says COVID-19 has no boundaries and anyone can die from the disease.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, the threat of death from COVID-19 is real. And sadly, the late honourable member paid the ultimate price and lost his life because of this terrible virus. COVID-19 is an invisible killer that spreads through the air we inhale and the objects that we touch. But we as a people, as workers, as small business owners and government employees, can do our part to protect our loved ones and try to keep them safe.
Jack Lapava Jr., National MTV News.
It is still a matter of national importance that the general public continues to take strong measures to protect its health in the country. These messages come after 295 new cases of COVID-19 were reported in 13 provinces respectively on Friday, 19th March 2021, raising the national total confirmed cases of COVID-19 over the 3,000 mark. The death toll remains at 36. Annette Cora reports.
The National Capital District reported the highest of 164 new cases, followed by Eastern Highlands with 38 cases. The other provinces that have reported new cases in the last 24 hours were West Sepik with 20, Moorabai with 22, Western Highlands with 13, East New Britain with 15, the Autonomous Region of Bougainville with 14, 1 in Enga, 2 in New Ireland Province, 3 in East Sepik and 1 each in Central, Hela and Southern Highlands. The cumulative figure for the 19 provinces that reported confirmed cases since the outbreak are as follows. NCD still leads the count with over 1,000 cases, followed by Western Province with just over 300 cases. Other provinces who have reached over the 100 marks being West New Britain and Eastern Highlands. Despite the rest of the provinces being below the 100 mark, cases still continue to pop up randomly in provinces, and unlike some diseases, COVID-19 is affecting people from across all sectors, including the well-to-do. Also, all age groups are being infected, including the young. This highlights the need for everyone to be on guard against this virus that is sweeping across the world and threatening to do the same in PNG. Since the outbreak, a total of 55,411 people in PNG have been tested for COVID-19, out of which 3,085 have tested positive. Currently pending at the laboratory for results are 2,379 samples. Controller of the PNG COVID-19 National Pandemic Response and Police Commissioner David Manning said he is pleased people are not afraid to go for testing, especially in NCD. Testing by far is the only way citizens will know whether they are free of the virus or not, especially during this time when the virus is spreading in the community and everyone is at risk. And at Cora, National EMTV News.
With the National Isolation Strategy to be effective tomorrow, the Department of Personnel Management have issued directives for all government agencies. It has been indicated that government business will not be affected and public servants will continue with their duties. However, COVID-19 protocols must be fully adhered to for safety purposes.
As part of the National Isolation Strategy, following measures will be strictly enforced by government agencies. Mask wearing will be compulsory and no mask, no entry policy will be applied at all government offices. All public servants will undergo COVID-19 testing and public servants tested positive will be isolated and a second test is required until the result is negative for them to resume work. All government buildings will be sanitized and fumigated and provided with sanitizers for staff, and social distancing and office seating arrangements must comply with the required spacing of 1.5 meters as required under the new passing protocols. There will be no official domestic travel unless with the authority of the controller, and meetings will be restricted to 10 staff or less. Last year, during the 2 government-approved lockdowns, most non-essential services were asked to remain at home, whilst essential service agencies were in full operation. This arrangement will not happen this time. Due to the shortage of manpower at the National Control Center, all government agencies were asked to provide 5 personnel to the Office of the Controller. These staff are required to provide administrative services in operating the call center, assist with information dissemination, publicity awareness and other responsibilities. Rayon Lakingu, National EMTV News.
A total of 42 students from the Runginai Community Health Worker Training School in Kiunga, Western Province, recently graduated with health worker certificates. The graduation ceremony saw families, friends, and invited guests in attendance. The graduates have successfully completed 2 years of studies despite COVID-19 challenges and financial constraints. According to the school principal, they were able to complete their training with financial support from Oktedi Development Foundation, Fly River Provincial Government, and other stakeholders. The principal further congratulated the graduates, saying the country is in need of health workers amidst the COVID-19 pandemic. He says there is a need for manpower in most rural areas in the country to help deliver better health services. The graduates were also urged to do their best to serve the country. Konos Station in New Ireland Province witnessed 3 life-changing completed projects recently. The big impact projects included the launching of the Konos Solar Power Station, New Ireland Savings and Loan Society, and the Central Council Chamber. The Konos Solar Plant is said to be the first functioning solar project in the country. It generates 0.11 megawatts of energy and is powering up the entire Konos township. In the Matalai LLG, Governor Chen cut the ribbons of the Mool Bridge. It cost 791,000 kina to build the bridge, was constructed by New Guinea contractors with the supervision of the New Ireland Department of Works. Landowners from the PDL7 area in Heights, Hela Province, have been urged to focus on development in their local community. Governor Philip Undialu challenged them to make use of business opportunities brought to them from the LNG benefits and support themselves. He was speaking to landowners when launching the PDL7 Directors Election Program recently.
launching of the PDL7 Directors Election Program on Thursday, the election of the directors is now underway. The elected directors will be part of the board in their trustee company, Gas Resources Heights 4 Limited. Speaking to the clan leaders, Governor Philip Undialu challenged them to put aside court battles and other differences and focus on development.
Little fight number law, differences, lose him aside, court case, lose him aside. I think it's by time you may sit down. PDL7, you're taking leadership, me like in PDL1, Angora Juga, learn from how you display in leadership, how you organize yourself. I think it's a good testament, a good display of leadership. So.
Following the election process, the incoming directors of the company will help deliberate on company matters, which will also pave way for royalty and equity payments and other benefits. And with these benefits for landowners, there is a 30% component set aside for community projects. The directors were also encouraged to focus on community development using the 30% component.
The 30% is the component, start long making community projects. Now 30% start long making investment. All this like decision, no got money been making yet. And you blow leaders but go and chat and make a decision.
Local MP Manasseh Makiba also challenged them to work in partnership with the District Development Authority to ensure services reach the people. He says the District Development Authority stands ready to partner with the company and the landowners.
Gas Resources Heights 4, you may partner with the district, roll him out. All little projects, community, suppose Gas Resources Heights 4, you like him 30% now. Put him as a 100,000 or make him one classroom or 8 post. Okay, district we will come put in not 100,000. So this is a partnership, we emphasize, but we go ourselves.
Governor Undialu also stressed on business opportunities in the area. He says it is time all PDL landowners must compete in business opportunities to help generate revenue.
Oil and gas will one day run out. That 30% investment here and leadership, trust by investors, and you one leadership staff. Me like him, high PDL one time, Angora, Juga, high PDL 4 now must resist the business. It's good continue generating revenue.
Rayon Lakingu National, MTV News.
As people return to their daily lives after the Grand Chief's passing, the question over the future remains in many people's minds. In this week's A Closer Look, Scott Wide reviews the similarities of Independence Day in 1975 and the last 3 weeks.
So we've never seen anything like it. The outpouring of grief, the gathering of clusters of people all over the country, and the messages of sadness, hope, and pride all in one event. The scale was like Independence in 1975 all over again. Both events revolving around the nation and Michael Somare's life.
And asked him to raise the flag on behalf of the people of Papua New Guinea. Shortly after the raising of the flag, a fresh breeze blew up and the flag fluttered fully.
In 1975, the official journey began in the Sir Hubert Murray Stadium, and on the week of the 8th of March, hundreds gathered at the same venue to farewell the man who started it all. Back then, radio was king. The broadcast traveled far and wide on NBC radio, reaching people in the remotest parts of the country, many of whom still hadn't grasped the concepts of self-government and independence. Over 3 weeks this month, we saw something similar repeated. This time, social media, television and radio were central to the distribution of the house cry and funeral proceedings. In East Sepik, the provincial government distributed television dishes and screens to rural communities by helicopter, People in Angaram and the Grand Chief's own village of Murik watched the live broadcasts out of Wewak in the comforts of their own communities. The difference was that they had the ability to react in real time on social media and participate in the event. In 1975, the Papua New Guinea Defence Force led the formalities. In the lead-up, the fledgling military was doubted over its ability to remain loyal to the new government, and this was against the backdrop of instances of military takeovers in other former colonies. After one conflict, 2 overseas deployments in Vanuatu and the Solomon Islands, and Sandline, the Papua New Guinea Defence Force has remained true to its word as the country's defence organisation. But the Grand Chief's passing also exposed the glaring weaknesses in the government's lack of investment in the PNG Defence Force over 30 years. With no planes of its own in operation, the government called on Australia's military to transport the casket of the man who wrote the Papua New Guinea Defence Force into existence. On another front, the Navy vessel HMPNG ship Lake Kamu transported vehicles and personnel needed for the parade and security in Wewak. Australia's close ties with Papua New Guinea has remained as the former colonial power. In honour of a close friend and partner, Australian flags were lowered for Sir Michael Somare. Australian MPs recounted their experiences with the former Prime Minister, and the House later stood in recognition for his contributions. As Sir Michael was laid to rest on Krea Hill, the question over how Papua New Guinea would move forward in the post-Somare era is in the minds of many. There is a lot to be done. The rebuilding and strengthening of institutions, the revisiting of the national goals and directive principles written in 1973, and to find our strength in our cultural roots.
Trukai Sports.
Welcome to Trukai Sports. The SPPNG Hunters 2021 campaign got off to a promising start despite their 2-point loss to Wynnum Manly Seagulls, 20 points to 18 in their opening match of the Intrust Super Cup season. The Seagulls muscled up in defence to hold out a late fight back by the Hunters, who were determined to start off the season with a win.
Coach Matthew Church said the best was yet to come from his SPPNG Hunters as they fell just short of a famous win in the opening Intrust Super Cup clash against the Wynnum Manly Seagulls. The Seagulls survived, winning the match 20 points to 18, but only after withstanding a storming comeback from the Hunters, who trailed by 12 points at halftime at the Bycraft Oval at Runaway Bay. This wasn't the finish that tipsters expected, as Wynnum Manly, featuring several Brisbane Broncos squad members, did not score a try for the last 57 minutes. The Hunters had the most difficult preparation in this year's competition, a combined 31 days in COVID quarantine as they moved from PNG to Queensland, which meant they couldn't play a trial match under the new ISC rules. The Hunters posted their first try of the season when debutant centre Jakodi Berry crashed over in the 28th minute. Fullback Terry Wapi sparked the Hunters into action with a try in the 50th minute, before hooker Watovo Puara Jr. dived over for a try in the 72nd minute to bring the Hunters within 2 points. The Hunters' attacking flair caused the Seagulls to scramble in defence, with 2 intercepts in the 68th and 69th minutes that propelled the Hunters downfield. With the most decisive period in the match coming between the 9th and 23rd minutes, when the Seagulls scored 3 unanswered tries to lead 16-0 in the first half. Richie Kenna scored the Seagulls' first try, with Jake Bateman and Jesse Arthurs pitching in. Penalty goals either side of halftime by 5'8" Jack Campagnolo were vital for the Seagulls as both teams finished with 3 tries each. Huxley Lovai, Trukai Sports.
And that story wraps up Trukai Sports, the weather report for the next 24 hours after these messages. Stay tuned.
Trukai Sports. Trukai Sports. This weather update is proudly brought to you by MoneyPlus, with you always.
Weather forecast for tonight and tomorrow. In the southern region, Port Moresby, cloudy periods with chances of afternoon and evening thunderstorms. Daru, cloudy periods with a chance of few showers. Kerema, cloudy periods with a chance of shower or two. Mostly fine with a chance of shower or two for Popondetta. Alotau, mostly fine and partly cloudy. To the Momase region, Vanimo, cloudy periods with chance of afternoon shower or two. Wewak, cloudy periods with a shower or two. Ley, mostly fine apart from evening shower or two. Medang, mostly fine. To the New Guinea Islands region, Lorengau, partly cloudy with patchy showers possible. Kavieng, partly cloudy with few showers. Kokopo and Rabaul, mostly fine morning and chance of evening showers. Buka, mostly cloudy with a chance of evening showers. And cloudy periods with chance of afternoon showers for Kimbe. In the Highlands region, Mendi and Wabeg, mostly cloudy with afternoon rain showers. Goroka and Kundiawa, cloudy periods with afternoon showers. Mount Hagen, cloudy periods with afternoon rain showers.
The weather update was proudly brought to you by MoneyPlus, with you always.
And that's the news, sports and weather for Sunday, the 21st of March 2021. Pleasant viewing, be safe, bye for now.